If worship is remembrance, and a remembrance reminds us how we ought to be, then what is it that we need to remember? Well, I'm so glad you asked. There's three things that we should remember or should be mindful of as we worship. The first is who God is. The second is who we are. And the third is what everything else in our lives means in light of those two realities. I'll say it again. The first is who God is. As we begin to worship, we remind ourselves who God is. The second is who we are. We remember who God says that we are. Number three, what everything else in our lives means in light of those two realities. When we gather for times of worship and we sing songs of who God is and repeat phrases over and over and melodies, we are reminding ourselves again of who He is and who we are in light of that. We're singing truths that our bodies start to respond to. And as that gets in us, it overtakes us, and we begin to come alive to those realities. It's your body and your soul remembering at the same time, and it's overwhelming in the best way. Sometimes so much that we can't contain ourselves. It's not spooky, it's not even a charismatic thing, it's a human thing. It's your whole being remembering. Isn't that beautiful? It's such a normal thing to respond with the whole of your being when the whole of your being remembers God. Again, it's a human thing, again, to respond with the whole of your being when the whole of your being remembers God. Again, a truth you've always known, a truth you were born with actually, is being remembered in a moment. And when you combine melody and singing and dancing with that, your whole body wants to respond. Your body naturally wants to follow your inner remembrance. The inner work that's taking place is almost demanding an outer response. It can also go the other way around. Returning to an outward posture awakens an inner response of our heart. In these moments, you simply return to the discipline of raising your hands, and then your inner self goes, oh yeah, surrender. That's a good idea. Always been helpful in the past. Or it says, oh yeah, He's bigger than I think. He's bigger than I can imagine. Oh yeah, He's my Father. Oh yeah, He's my friend. Oh yeah, He's always with me. Oh yeah, I'm gonna be okay. Oh yeah, I can go a little and let Him do this work. Oh yeah, He loves that person I'm in opposition with. Oh yeah, He's their Father too. The list goes on, but the point is that we remember. Worship is remembrance, and our remembrance reconnects us to God, ourselves, and the world around us. That's why moments of interruption, again, coming to a place where we choose to remember. These moments of interruption, these spaces of worship are so vital and important. We come together and we choose to worship. We choose to lift our voice and to sing these old truths that will be true long after we're gone and were true long before we got here. We are joining with a heaven reality. So what are we remembering? Well, we're remembering who God is and what actually does the Bible say about God? Who does the Bible say that He is? I'm so glad you asked. In Acts 4:11-12, He's called the chief cornerstone. Jesus is the stone you builders rejected, which has become the cornerstone. In Colossians 1:15-17, He's called the Creator. The Son is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn over all creation. For in Him all things were created, All the things in heaven and on earth, visible and invisible, whether thrones or powers or rulers or authority, all things have been created through him and for him. In Galatians 4, he's called Redeemer. But when the set time had fully come, God sent his Son, born of a woman, born under the law, to redeem those under the law, that we might receive adoption to sonship. In Philippians 2, he's called Lord. Therefore, God exalted him to the highest place and gave him the name that is above every other name, that at the name of Jesus, every knee should bow, in heaven and on earth and under the earth, and every tongue will acknowledge that Jesus Christ is Lord, to the glory of the Father. In Hebrews 7, verse 20, he's called the high priest. But he became a high priest with an oath when God said to him, "The Lord has sworn and will not change his mind. You are a priest forever." In Hebrews 10, he's called the atoning sacrifice. Therefore, when Christ came into the world, he said, "Sacrifice and offering you did not desire, but a body you prepared for me. With burnt offerings and sin offerings you were not pleased. Then I said, Here I am. It is written about me in the scroll. I have come to do your will, God." In 1 Peter 2:25, he's called the great shepherd. "For you were like sheep going astray, but now you have returned to the shepherd and the overseer of your souls." In 2 Corinthians 11, he's referred to as the bridegroom. "I am jealous for you with a godly jealousy. I promised you to one husband, to Christ, so that I may present you as a pure virgin to him. But I am afraid that just as Eve was deceived by the serpent's cunning, your minds may have somehow been led astray from your sincere and pure devotion to Christ." Who is God? Well, he's all the above. He is the chief and the precious cornerstone. He is the creator. He is the redeemer. He is the Lord. He is the high priest. He is the atoning sacrifice. He is the great shepherd. He is the bridegroom. And when we choose to worship the Lord, when we choose to make those interruptions daily in our lives, remember what Moses gave to the children of Israel as they were getting ready to enter into Canaan. Remember. Don't forget to remember. Remember to remember. When we choose to make interruptions in our lives of remembrance, we come awake to who God is, and that changes things. That changes things in our lives. Our reality coming in line with heaven's reality. It means something. We are saying yes to what God is saying. We are saying yes to what the angels and all of heaven is saying about God. We are saying yes to what he wants to do in our lives. Worship is remembrance, and remembering reminds us how we ought to be.